What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. Today's episode journey is being guided by none other than your host, Hallucinodream, or Austin J. Oh, said that backwards, but Austin J. or Hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community. And today's topic is on summer and tips for leading into the summer. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy this episode. Hello. Sorry for the those watching on YouTube. Sorry for the abnormal light. It seems a little strange today, kind of like glowing. It's nice, and yeah. Today's topic is on. Well, it's April, right? It's coming up on the end of April. May's coming up, right around the corner. Literally, I think next week, maybe 2 weeks, but summer's coming up, right? And everybody wants their quote unquote summer bod, and they want to, prepare for the beach and the outdoors and this and that. So, might touch on this another time, probably throughout closer to the actual like June, July area. But it is starting to get warm, and people are likely to start preparing. I know we are preparing, so I want to go over a couple things that you can do to try to help you out. Maybe try to eliminate some of that stress factor, or just maybe even a little refresher for those who are listening who have a routine every year. Now, you don't necessarily need a routine every year. I don't have a routine. I kind of just go with the flow as the year goes, and I think that's what my wife does as well. So you don't necessarily need a routine, but having a couple of ideas might help you. First thing I want to talk about in regards to that is a lot of people in general, they look at social media, they look at all of the models, the influencers who get paid, male and female, and they always have like perfect physique and this and that and all that. My first tip to anybody, and first thing I want to say is, don't look at social media, and absolutely under no circumstance should you get upset or have any kind of negative emotional reaction in regards to seeing somebody on social media. A lot of times social media, those people who are influencers, well, first of all, more often than not, that's their job. Right, so I mean, they're spending all of their time working on that physique because that's their job, being an influencer. And the famous people, actors, actresses, CEOs of company, really large companies, all that, those people as well, for the most part, have nutritionists and personal trainers, and the average person can't really afford to have all of those. I know I can't. That's for sure. I can't afford to have a personal nutritionist and a personal trainer and a chiropractor and all of that, at hand, basically. So you got to be a little bit realistic when you're looking at social media. What I do is just don't look at it. I mean, I definitely browse social media. I'm not knocking social media at all. I love social media, but when I see, stuff like that, that's what I think to myself is that's their job, right? So, and it's not related to how I look, and I'm not going to allow it to negatively affect how I feel. That's a big part of this. And that's a big part of why I started One Punch here, was because of, is to help emotionally and mentally get past these hurdles to be able to start your physical fitness routine or your nutrition routine, right? And I call it a routine, but it's really not. It should really just be lifestyle, right? Your nutrition lifestyle, your physical fitness lifestyle. So that's my first tip, is to try to avoid the social media. And then leading into that, let's go into getting ready, getting prepared. You want to start, maybe you The pandemic didn't make anything easier. The pandemic's still ongoing, right? So maybe you haven't been working out all summer. You haven't been walking, doing this and that. I haven't been walking nearly as much over the winter because my daughter is young, and the colder it gets, the harder it gets to go outside. You got to bundle her up 1,000 times, and frankly, she doesn't really like the cold, apparently. So makes it difficult to walk, right? So maybe you're doing that, and maybe that's happening to you as well, and you want to get back in your routine, but you're not sure where to start. Everybody who went to school probably was told this saying at one point in time, and it's the word KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Except we're going to remove the last S because I don't think anybody's stupid, okay? We can even change it to silly. Keep it simple, silly. But I know everybody's heard that saying. Okay, so we're referencing the saying, but let's do that. Keep it simple. Some people most people who haven't been or been knocked out of a routine, that's just happened to me over the winter too. I even stopped working out. I wasn't working out as much because I was just unable to bring my daughter with me, and just the scheduling was unable to line up for me to be able to go to the gym to get a workout in. I have an at-home gym. It's also hard to work out with her there as well, but to get as good of a workout by myself, right? Keep it simple. So what I did was I started weaning into it, right? Started going 1 or 2 times a week again to the gym to get some resistance training, and then started walking a couple times a week with my daughter. And then I would run every single day. I'd fit that in no matter what. What I do is I run every single day. I've run every single day this year, minimum of 1 mile up until about last month. Unless I'm quote unquote sick or very, very far from recovered, the plan since March has been 3 miles minimum a day. I'll run on the treadmill. I'll run outside. I'm getting off topic here. I'm getting off track here. Just call myself. See, we're working on that. But I started slow, right? So I started walking 1 or 2 times a week to make sure that I was able to wean back into walking, and our routine was going to line up. That's the first thing we do in the morning. That's the first thing I tried to do in the morning. Get the daughter up, give her some food. We eat a little bit. She eats. I make a coffee. We immediately get ready, go for a walk, and then that's how we start our day. It's great to get the sun rays, especially if you're walking outside, if you're able to do that, and it's the weather is permitting, which it's coming into summer, so it should be. Get outside, get the sun rays. That's incredibly beneficial in itself, and then you're getting some walking in. Start even slow, so keep it simple. So you can keep it simple even further than that by, if you really have been out of your routine, just start a walking routine, and you only have to walk 5 minutes, right? And if that's even too much for you, and it is not an issue if it is, right? You shouldn't be embarrassed by that. You shouldn't be nervous about doing that. You shouldn't feel bad whatsoever. If you can only make it, down your first block and back, that's where you start. Do that for about a week, and then after that, add maybe 200, 300 more feet. You're not going to measure the feet, but you get the idea. And then do that for a week and then back up. You'd be surprised how quickly your body will adapt to this, doing it over for at least 5 to 7 days at a time, and then adding a little bit more. And I can't stress enough how important walking is. A lot of people don't really, when you ask them about fitness, health, wellness, and all this other stuff, walking doesn't come up as often as it should. Walking is very beneficial for your health, your mood, especially if you're walking outside, and your weight. And it's just so simple because it's something humans do on a daily basis. Everybody walks, right? Well, almost everybody walks, right? I'm not knocking on the people who can't walk. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I was trying to think of how to word that. But walking is a natural human behavior, right? So walking is something that's very beneficial to your health and wellness regimen, and then you can expand from there. So let's go into, now let's start, let's say you haven't worked out in several months because of the winter, and now you want to get back into it because you want your quote unquote summer bod. Um, I was just thinking about how you can go about. Let's say you're really not good at putting together routines. You don't know where to start, what muscle groups to hit, and all this and all that. Best way for me to put it, for you to be able to get started slow and keeping it simple, is just the internet is a very powerful resource. Look up, think about a muscle group that you want to do. So like let's say just your back, or your arms, right, or your chest, or your legs, right. And you want to do some core in there. Core should kind of be like a go-to, always kind of adding in there, so long as you're not doing it every single day. Go on the internet, look up workouts to do for your back, or back workouts, or back exercises, and then take a couple of those, write them down if you have to, bookmark them. Everyone has a smartphone. You can reference them at the gym if that's where you go, and just do a couple of back exercises that day. That way you have a couple of exercises you're guaranteed going to do. You can do cardio at the gym as well. You can get your walk in if you need to, or if you want to, as like a cool down or a warm up, and just one set of exercise. Now, some people could listen to that and say, well, I'm only doing one exercise. What if I only go twice a week? That means I'm only doing two body parts that week. Yes, that's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're maintaining that. You're maintaining those body parts. Your resistance training, right, or that muscle group. And let's say you do twice a week, and there's 4 muscle groups that I just stated. You'll hit every 2 weeks. You'll be hitting those muscle groups, and you don't have to change exercises every week either. So like I do the same back and bicep exercises. I do those same chest and triceps. I only switch them up, I don't know, like very minimal every maybe month or so. I switch it up one time, and repetition is key, because you kind of want to become an expert at those exercises, because your body may adapt to those exercises. You can train volume. This will happen in the future, but do the same exercises. Keep it simple. Keep it safe. If you work out a muscle group 1 week, and then you don't get it for 2 more weeks, so technically every other week, that's fine, because you're still working out that muscle group, and you still will see benefits from those. So keep it simple. If you need to, look up one muscle group to be able to work out that day, and just stick to that. Especially if you're new to the gym, you can go. Most gyms have personal trainers walking the floor. You can go in and ask them if you want to as well. I highly recommend that. They'll even show you how to do the workouts properly, use the machines properly. I know there's a couple of machines, and I am a certified personal trainer. I'm working at a fitness facility right now. There are a couple of machines I've never seen before I'm using, and I still can't figure out what exactly they are. I'll let you guys know what the machines are next episode, because off the top of my head I don't remember, but I know one is a chest exercise, and it's like you push forward, it lifts the seat up, you flip upside down, you spin in circles. I don't know, it's ridiculous, but apparently it works. That's why it's there. So keep it simple, and if you have any questions, if anybody has any questions, you are more than feel free to my brain right now. Oh, man, I'm not even gonna lie, I am so tired. It's halfway through the day. My daughter's sleeping right now. I'm so tired. Feel free to reach out to us. All of the social media is all over the place. On the left, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description. Reach out to us, ask us some questions. We would love to answer them to the best of our ability. Definitely answer them. Can even give you some help and some workouts if you would like some. So reach out, ask some questions, ask for some workouts. I would love to hand some workouts out. Let's move into nutrition. So you got your workout in. So I'm only going to briefly touch on nutrition. I'm going to swing over here because I don't want to keep this going for too long. So I really mainly want to talk about sugar, and a couple ways to reduce that. Over the summer, I feel like sugar is easier to get a hold of to eat to, become prone to eating all the time than it is any other time. And I feel like that because the hot weather, you are, probably outside more often. I don't know if there's science backing this whatsoever, but I personally feel like sugar is easier to eat, especially because ice cream is packed in sugar. I just want to say, try to avoid sugar at all costs. Added sugar, that is, because fruits have natural sugar. You want to try to avoid sugar at all costs. It's detrimental to not only your health, your weight, but your health and your weight. So, what the first thing I do when I look at a nutrition package, any food that I pick up, the first thing I do is look at the sugar, the added sugar. I mean, that is the absolute first thing I look at. Very rarely do I miss the added sugar. There are times where I look at everything else except for the added sugar, but that's mainly the first thing, and I try to avoid at all costs. Now, if there's 3 or 4 grams of added sugar in a serving of something, compared to, let's say I'm picking out a quick oatmeal, right? As compared to 10 or 11 grams, I'm going to pick the 3 or 4 grams, right? Especially if I'm like dead set on eating that oatmeal that morning, I'm going to pick the lower sugar. Because I know that I'm going to be keeping my sugars low. So try to reduce the sugar. People who drink, you mix your alcohol, especially mixed drinks with soda and all that stuff. I think we've talked about this in a different episode in the past as well. Use seltzer water or sparkling water instead of soda. Soda is jam-packed with sugars. It will increase your hangover. You're not going to want that. And, obviously has other negative health effects that you just don't want. Try to use seltzer. And, contrary to maybe what some people believe, seltzer does taste virtually the same as you can really make. I've had somebody, I don't drink anymore. It's been 3 years since I've drank any alcohol, but in the past I've had I want to say a rum and Coke, and it wasn't actually Coke in there. It was seltzer and something else, and it tasted literally exactly like a rum and Coke, and the amount of sugar in there was non-existent. And so I did that, right? I switched over to seltzer, sparkling water. You can add some fruits in there if you want to spice it up. Try to avoid, sugar in there too. I know lemonades are a big one. Try to reduce, natural lemonade would be nice. You can replace the lemonade with actual fruit-infused water, which is pretty easy. You just put fruit in water. Like you get like a jug of water, put fruit in it, and then you just let it sit in the refrigerator for, I don't know, overnight maybe, and then now you got fruit water. There's a replacement for lemonade. I know lemonade is huge during the summer because it's refreshing. So try to reduce some of the sugar intake during the summer. Overall, really, throughout the year, you want to try to monitor your sugar intake. But that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to drag this episode out. I know I'm rambling. I actually didn't think I was as tired as I can tell how tired I am when I start the episode and start rambling, because when I'm not as tired, I don't usually ramble as much, I guess. So I apologize for dragging some of the episode out, but I think those are some valid points. And I think going into the summer, I think, it doesn't have to be a chore to start your routine back up, especially if you haven't all winter. I think it's something that everybody can get back into. It's going to take a little bit of, get going. It's going to take a little bit of work, but don't be afraid to ask for help either. Personal trainers, people maybe you talk to on the internet, friends, family, don't be afraid to ask for some help. And if you, with that, ask some people to join you. Friends, family, as people that walk with you, to go to the gym with you, or just to be an accountability buddy. Somebody to text and say, hey, I plan on going to the gym tomorrow. I'll follow up after I do and let you know how it went, right? So there's some tips. If anybody has any questions on anything they heard in the episode today, by all means, you can reach out. If you're watching live, I keep saying live, but if you're watching on YouTube, all of our links are on the left. If you're listening on the podcast platform, all of our links are in the description. All of my personal links are in the description as well. We will be back next week with a question and follow up and answer. So if you have any questions, by all means, submit them. That would be amazing. You can submit them on any of our social media. And I thank you for listening and hope to see everybody next week. Bye.